Hi, this is Rebecca Kokendorfer. Welcome to Atomic Mindfulness. I was at a conference that had a lot of guest speakers, and speaker after speaker kept getting up and saying, oh, I know my purpose, or I'm 100% on purpose, or I discovered my purpose when I was, 12 years old, and they spent their whole life on it. And as I was sitting there, I started to think, wow, what's wrong with me? I don't know what my purpose is. I wish I did, but I don't know. And then the host of the event, a man that I respect, he got up and he said, now you probably noticed that a lot of the guest speakers here talked about purpose, but I don't want you to think that you should already know your purpose before you take action. He said that purpose comes from learning by doing. And that most of the time we don't know our purpose. We discover our purpose. And I want to say that again, because this ties in with this mindfulness, the state of our mind and how we think about ourselves and our life, is that most of the time we may not know our purpose ahead of time. We discover our purpose. And I would also add to that in my experience now, purpose changes. For example, last year when my son had cancer, my purpose was to lead the family to lead the family mindfully during his cancer journey. And so I was thinking too, some little mental shifts too, that if you have known your purpose your entire life and you feel like you're absolutely on path, it's so wonderful. I totally envy that. That has not been my experience. And it isn't the experience for a lot of people. We are searching for our purpose. And when we're searching for purpose, what we're really searching for is meaning in our life, mission in our life, what gets us out of bed in the morning, what's important to us. And so I want you to remember that shifts in our life. And sometimes when we think we have a purpose or a mission, step onto the path. And I invite you also to think in terms of path rather than goal. Goal has a very exact deadline, and goals can tend to make people very stressful. And goals have a very high risk of failure. So instead, when you're thinking about life purpose, life mission, I invite you to think path, and not a narrow path where you have to be so careful or you're going to fail or do something wrong, but a beautiful broad path. And maybe a path where you're sitting up on a buckboard wagon and you're being pulled by horses and you're looking around. That quality to path work in your life. And whether you're thinking whether you want to have a new puppy or start a new business or go back to school, I invite you to ask yourself, is this an experience I want to have? Is this a path I want to travel on? And that will give you a pretty good idea. Another question, another micro-mindfulness technique is to ask yourself, especially when you're thinking about vision for your life, is this something I would like to talk about and do for the next 5 years? That is a pretty good test as well. But I know that some of the people I work with, their mission, their purpose right now is that they are recovering from a divorce, or they're retiring and finding their next purpose, or they're in a period of transition. So we do have to have purpose and mission in our life. Otherwise, we go into an existential crisis. And I never understood the word existential, but it has the word existence in it. I'm like, oh, I get it. It's what is the meaning of our existence? So remember, think path rather than goal. Remember that the point of your existence will change in your hopefully very long life. So maybe the question is, what is my purpose and my mission right now? And if you're not sure, then learn by doing. Test it out. Try it out. Don't be afraid to take steps, because clarity comes from action.